What's up, you guys? If you don't know the name, it's Michael James. Today, I want to be talking about a very serious topic, and I figured I'd do it right now while I'm feeling down. Um, I want to talk about my journey with mental health and how it's affected me, and I'll I'll backtrack in my story a little bit. So, a few years ago, um, probably about 10 years ago, I didn't think anything of mental health. I thought if you were just anxious or depressed, you know, just be happy. Why be sad? You know what I mean? But I had an experience while I was in the military. I was overdosed on medication, and when I was overdosed on medication, I started experiencing all of the effects of major depression, anxiety, hallucinations, and they definitely affected how I viewed mental health because then I saw um, you can't just get happy when you're depressed. Uh, Depression's not a choice, anxiety's not a choice. The choice is what you do when living with mental health issues. Since I was overdosed on the medication while I was active duty in the military, I experienced a lot of just a lot of stuff in general in life, and it definitely affected how I view things. I've been doing the cold plunge for 43 days, and that's definitely helped with my mental health. But I still notice I still feel down sometimes, and I still feel anxious sometimes, but it's all about fighting it. The feeling when somebody's like stepping on your chest, it's about just getting up and doing something about it. And that's what I've been trying to do over this last month. I've stopped using alcohol and excessive marijuana use as a coping mechanism to deal with everything. Um, it's not about, you know, it's not about giving in to the depression. It's not about giving in to the anxiety of how you feel when it takes hold. It's about getting up and overcoming, even if it's just little steps like brushing your teeth, taking a shower, folding your bed, doing your laundry, just little things like that. I've also experienced, since I've been out, it definitely has made me experience things differently. I do miss the camaraderie of being in the military and being active duty, and I don't know if anybody else has recently got out and they don't have that same camaraderie they had while they were active duty, but it's definitely a different beast being out. And this isn't like a complaint or like a woe is me. I'm just saying sometimes I know it's difficult. If you have friends that are still in, just hit them up, see how they're doing, make sure they're okay. Um, because sometimes things get difficult, and some people things might get too difficult. I have some people I knew who was in the military who things did get too difficult um, while they were in, and but yeah, it, it's important to figure out, you know, when you're feeling like there's no point in any of this, just the same old thing every single day. The important thing is to like reach out to your family, loved ones, friends. Hell, they even have a hotline if that's what you need. I just want to take in consideration that, I felt like it was karma whenever I didn't believe in all the mental health stuff, and then it all happened. I definitely view it all differently now. I've also been experiencing grief, and that's also another hard thing to deal with on top of all the mental health stuff, because sometimes when you think you're finally processed all the grief, then sometimes it comes back, which is okay. But if you're experiencing the loss of a loved one, um, I lost my grandfather and cousin last year, and it's been very difficult on top of everything else in the military. Like missing just being in the military and not knowing what your purpose is when you get out. If, like in my situation, I was medically retired due to mental health and physical health conditions. So it's been difficult finding a purpose and finding a group, or just finding something in my life um, that helps me with everything, goals, purpose, etc. But just pushing through has definitely helped me. The cold plunge is just an example, but going to the gym, working out. I also have some conditions with my back, and sometimes that makes it difficult, but I've been trying to push through, and I've been trying to get everything done and do the best I can and be better than I was yesterday, even when I get the feeling of someone stepping on my chest, and like the feeling that none of this is worth it and there's no point in any of this. It's about battling those thoughts and just thinking of people who are there for you in your life and who care about you. Um, I think that's everything. Um, if you're experiencing you know, any effects of any major mental disorder or any mental health stuff, it's all about pushing through and just finding your purpose, or even if not finding your purpose, just finding people, your loved ones, somebody who cares about you, your family, just everything in general, you know, and not giving in. That's the main thing. Just pushing through. When everything, you just feel like the walls are caving in, and like you can't get up or do anything. Um, like it physically hurts to do anything. It's all about just pushing through. You gotta push through. You gotta get through it. You gotta find what motivates you, friends, family, or whatever it is, and push through it. Because I know now from my experience with being overdosed while I was active duty in the military. Um, my experience is that mental health isn't a choice, but what you do while you're going through that is a choice. You know, nobody chooses to be depressed or anxious, but it's about what you do when you feel that way, or any way in particular. It's about how you fight, how you overcome it, and I think that's pretty much it. I think I've went over the whole military aspect, my personal fight with my mental health, and how I live with it every day, and just things I do to help me stay motivated, to push through. And I guess I do want to recap on the grief of losing someone important in your life, which can exacerbate the effects of whatever mental health conditions you already have. Or at least from my personal experience, I've noticed that um, since my grandfather and cousin passed away last, I think, yeah, last year, it is definitely been a lot more difficult and um, frequent uh, than normal than what I was dealing with before when I was in the Wounded Warrior program. I don't know if grief exacerbates the effects of your mental health or what it does, but it's definitely been a lot more difficult. So, if anybody's experiencing that, but it's good to just talk to somebody you love who also had a connection with that person, um, just to talk about the person. Just memories about the person have helped a lot in that situation. Because I'm, it's been hard. Um, and I definitely, miss those people I had in my life who are now gone. Um, because they really meant a lot to me, and you know, so cherish the people you have in your life because you never know when they're gonna be gone. I didn't see I never saw my grandfather or cousin passing away the way they did. My grandfather died due to COVID. On top of when he was at the doctor, they just didn't listen. They thought because he was an older person, they didn't listen to his concerns about how he was. And when I talked to some of the nurses, I was like, look, he's not normally like this. And they just thought because he was older that he was like a normal, sickly, older person. But he wasn't like that. When I saw him 6 months prior, he was walking around. Long story short, my grandfather, he had something in his throat where he couldn't eat food, and they found it out too late, and then he fell. He was getting better when they found it out, but then he fell and then he passed away. And then my cousin, this was last year, January, he he got in a car accident in that same month. So I guess I don't know why I'm talking about that. I guess speaking from personal grief or experience with losing someone and the effects they have on your mental health as well, on top of everything else, you know. But it's good to talk to people about that and talk to people who share some memories and that same connection with you regarding those people in your life. But that's, I think that's pretty much it. That's, I guess, my battle with mental health every day is, a new day, and every day I push through and try my best and not try not to dwell on it. But when I'm feeling down like how I am right now, I just feel like maybe talking about it and putting it out there so other people they're not alone when they're dealing with feelings like how I'm dealing with currently. But yeah, I hope this video was helpful with everyone, and I hope that you can power through and overcome any situation you're in and not give in to depression or anxiety, even when it feels hard, even when the walls feel like they're caving in and it feels like someone's stepping on your chest. Knowing that there's people out there in your corner, or even if there's not, there's places you can go to find people out there. Maybe if I'm not religious, but maybe finding a group of people through church or the gym or a better environment, just getting out there and not being isolated. I feel like isolation is probably one of your worst enemies when dealing with everything. But anyways, that's just my journey with mental health and everything I've went through since I've been out of the military. And yeah, that's it. Hope y'all have a good day. Well, I'm making this at night, but hope y'all have a great day. And if you don't know the name, it's Michael James. Peace.